Here we
You blew it! You blew it! This man was a bona fide scrub.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Oh, poor you.
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you. I make you laugh, I'm here to fucking amuse you. What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
stupid.
You know I had to drop the flex bomb for this one. And that was a celebratory flex bomb because we did it, baby. That's right. We did it. We did it, ladies and gentlemen. We have reached episode number 40 of the Participation Trophy podcast, defying
40 episodes in a short year.
Thank you, Jada. We did it. We did it. Hey, man. Damn. Hate when he does that shit, man. Hey. But yes, we have reached the 40th episode of this shit, defying our own pessimism week after week, show after show. No form of resilience is truer than the one we have by getting our washed asses together, usually after 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night, to bicker and banter for y'all's entertainment. So respect that shit. Glad to be back with the usual homies. If episode 40 happens to be episode number 1 for you, A, you're an asshole, and you're fucking
But we still love you.
We still love you. And B, allow us to reintroduce ourselves. My name is Abdullah. That is Jamal. That is Zane. That is Neil. Welcome aboard. We've got some fire on tap once again. The NBA season is over, which means the NBA offseason madness has just begun, especially if you're a Wizards fan. So, Zane, you can see yourself out now.
All right, I'm out.
Yeah.
Getting a quick snooze.
Lots of trade rumors, lots of sources or sauces. Lots of sauces.
So lots of people familiar with the thinking of, like real far out.
Yeah. Speaking to those familiar with.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, lots of sauce. None of them happens to be sweet heat. Speaking of which, right quick, is it possible to make sweet heat like the consensus go-to sauce at Popeyes?
That's controversial, man.
Is
controversial?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. Like
when you,
this is.
but when you think Popeyes, you don't really think sauces. Popeyes is not known for, you know what I mean? Like you think
It's
sauces,
not.
you think
It's-
Chick-fil-A, you think McDonald's.
I agree.
And they're
So
not very
Popeyes,
giving.
the field
They're not very
is
giving
open.
of their sauces either.
They're not.
They're not.
In my
They're definitely not.
experience.
Yeah.
It's a personal thing for me. And you're totally right, Jamal, about Popeyes not being sauce centric. Obviously, we're there for the chicken. But sweet heat, it might be that serious to me. I sometimes I'm compelled to just cancel the order if they tell me they don't have sweet heat. I mean, you still eat your chicken with a sauce, right? Like a preferred sauce.
If I get
no?
tenders, yeah. If I get tenders,
Okay.
I
Yeah,
get
tenders, and I'm
I
talking
fuck
about
with the sweet
tenders.
heat. I fuck with it was a Bayou Buffaloes there. I fuck with the black and ranch, a little bit. You know what I mean?
I like the
the
black
field.
and ranch.
The field is open though. The field is open.
Yeah.
They got a lot of shit, but people just don't think sauces when they think Popeyes.
They don't, and
They don't even offer the sauces on the app.
They don't.
There's nowhere to
they
fucking
don't.
put it.
They don't.
Dude,
You're right.
How like Popeyes is pretty fucked up on DoorDash, but we need to talk about that because I can't even mix like spicy and mild chicken.
No.
You cannot do anything.
Bullshit. Complete
It's
bullshit.
fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Yo, Chick-fil-A, you can fucking do whatever the fuck you want.
Oh yeah. You can like
Like-
mix your shit. You can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
You-
those like fancy ass Coke machines, the ones where they got like every flavor.
Oh
every
Freestyle
my
joints,
God,
yeah,
so
freestyle.
good.
Freestyle, you're right.
I love those.
Yeah, that's basically Chick-fil-A with their sauces.
Yeah.
Mm.
You can get a prayer sent with your meal and shit like that.
Yeah.
You can get anything.
A
Wild
prayer,
shit.
except on Sunday.
Oh man. Yeah, so we'll definitely get into the NBA trade rumors. The COVID crises in the NFL, teams trying to establish some protocol with their franchises regarding COVID. We'll get into that. Deshaun Watson photoshops have resurfaced. And DaBaby having George W. Bush type reflexes. I know y'all can't wait for that. Shout out to Troy Halliburton, our guest from last week. I went to a black people wedding this past weekend. It was an all white party.
Mhm.
And it was a BYOB function. So I decided to test Troy's theory on Casamigos, the tequila that has apparently become the alcohol wave this summer. So I grabbed a bottle, and sure enough, as soon as I walked into the party with that thing, eyes lit up.
Oh,
Hey Mo,
okay.
hey Mo got the Migos.
So, quick question is: I don't drink, right? But is most of these things because they're in, or because there's actually a distinctive difference between this and Don Julio, whatever the fuck motherfuckers be drinking?
It's a
last
combination,
year?
I would say.
That's
I would
wrong.
say it's a combination. So people will drink Terramana, and Terramana is the the rocks brand of tequila, and so there's a combination. There's people that will tell you, oh, it's the end thing, it's the wave, it's the rock. But Terramana also is actually a pretty smooth fucking tequila too. It's probably up there in terms of like drinkability. I don't know, Jamal. I know you said you haven't had the Migos.
I haven't had Casamigos yet because it's look. There's a hype alcohol every year. Every summer
year.
something gets overhyped.
Yep.
I forgot what it was last summer, but I'd be shocked if it tastes any different from any other slightly below top shelf
really
tequila.
doesn't.
Yeah,
It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
but it got you though.
Yes. Here's the thing, the jury's still out on which tequila I always prefer. I don't really drink it much anymore because it's a sloppy drink, right? Like I like when girls drink it, but I don't. I just, myself, and it's always like the cap off, right? It's the cap off drink, the cap off shot. It doesn't matter what other types of alcohol you've been drinking throughout the day or throughout the the party. When you cap off with that tequila, that's like, you know what, you're nailing the coffin right there. Like
You're looking to take things to another level. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Right. You're openly and willingly fucking yourself with that cap off shot, and that's why I just stayed away from it. I was like, you know what, because you know
what it is about tequila too. You don't hear people making a lot of tequila cocktails. So if you're drinking tequila, you're doing shots, and there's really
always
mainly just like one gear to it. Because again, people don't really mix it with a lot of stuff.
Margaritas are still popular, and margaritas have really evolved in terms of like
margaritas
flavors.
will always slap.
So
sure. But if your name is not
outside of margaritas, there really isn't anything else.
If your name's not Kelly and you're leaving a work happy, going to a work happy hour for the marketing team, nobody's casually making margaritas at like a fucking cookout. No.
Right.
So you're doing shots. That's what.
There's a lot of labor involved, right? It's like so many preferences with it too, like the salt. The mix
on the rocks, blend,
all that stuff. No, you're right. I still, but going out, margaritas are still, like a preferred cocktail or popular one. So, but definitely. So, all right, let's go ahead and wrap that up. Let's get into open gym and talk about these NBA juicies. I know Wizards fans really wanted to drink any kind of liquor this past week because
all three of them,
all the feelings.
Photoshop season. We talked about Deshaun Watson Photoshops, but Photoshop season is back, ladies and gentlemen, in the NBA. That's right. There's been plenty of trade and free agency rumors swarming and circulating in your social media timelines, producing the most intricate and detailed Photoshops of your favorite NBA players in a variety of different NBA uniforms. And Wizards fans, we've probably seen Bradley Beal photoshopped into almost every NBA jersey. Heat fans in particular have been like the biggest culprit with these fake images of Brad. They've been producing Photoshop porn with Brad's ass for years now.
For like 3 years.
Ever since they saw that he gave his jersey to Bam Adebayo, they've been all up in there.
That's it. So to precursor to summarize Brad's or the Brad dilemma, there was some murmur early in the week about Brad gearing up to request a trade. Obviously, a lot of those headlines were sensationalized, but it eventually brought us to the most current and likely most accurate report from Shams Charania. And then today, DA had an op-ed about it too, stating that Beal hasn't formally requested a trade, but is mulling his future. I've been pretty vocal about this on Twitter, but as usual, Neil will begin with your measured take on the current Brad situation, and then Zane will proceed to shit on it thereafter, and then I'll piggyback off him and shit on it a little bit more. All the while Jamal is just sobbing in the background at the reality of Brad possibly not being with the team long term anymore. Go ahead, Neil.
Yes. So, obviously, and this is not anything that Wizards fans are not used to. Brad's been in trade rumors for the past 2 years since John Wall has been dealing with his injuries. But, obviously, most recently, they have Bleacher Report, Jake Fisher, who I had not heard of before, this tweet. He tweets out, word has spread across front offices around the NBA. Bradley Beal is weighing whether to request a trade from the Wizards.
Was that the Bleacher Report guy?
That was the Bleacher Report guy.
Okay.
And then he puts in quotes before his link to his article. which I respect. He, wrote an article. It's not just, some random ass person sending a tweet that he wants to go viral. He says, quote, he knows he has to make a decision before the draft, said one source with knowledge of Beal's thinking, of course. As
intimate knowledge.
Hey, man, getting cozy with him, I guess. But to me, at the end of the day, what has really changed for Beal? Really, the thing that's changed and really has fucked the Wizards is that maybe this timeline has been accelerated by Beal having more time because he's not in Japan right now. This is going to be a non-starter, not even something we were going to discuss until he returned back from, potentially a gold medal that would have lightened his mood. But instead, he's probably in a sour mood already, and we get all of this stuff going on. Beal is not naive. He knows that he can go sign for 35% Supermax this time next summer from any team that wants to give it to him, which is probably all 30 teams.
Yeah.
He's not naive. He knows that he needs to make a decision, and he knows that the Wizards want a decision.
Well, I mean, let me get my 2 cents on this and my original thoughts.
You have thoughts?
Bradley Beal evaluates himself and his future every offseason. This is not new. He's not naive.
And I sent that exact tweet.
And he could be an unrestricted free agent for the first time in his career and come in a 5-year, $233
He did it. We've been plotting this on you all day, Neil. He did it, and you caught me off guard because I forgot we had that conversation, and I'm like,
man, these hooligans have a separate group chat out here flowing.
Zane, did somebody hack your body? Like, what the fuck?
Man.
Oh, that's Prince. I didn't know about this, Neil.
Go follow Neil DeLong 96 on Twitter.
He said the naive thing like 4 times. I was reading the tweet. I was like, shit.
That was gold. That was so well played. That was so well played. So listen, back to Brad real quick, and I'm gonna allow this stuff to anybody. So Neil, I get what you're saying, right? Like we get all that, but so what are you saying? Are you saying that logically Beal is leaning towards, the Supermax option as a free agent next year, or is he really that turned off by the direction of the team moving forward, starting with the coach, right? Like there was part of that murmur that I was speaking of was the fact that people were saying he wasn't happy with the Unseld hire, more so that he wanted Cassell to be the coach. So my question is like, what? Let's put ourselves in Brad's shoes. Like right now, you're weighing your options. What do you feel like Brad is thinking right now? Duke it out for one more season with this team, unhappily.
For him, he doesn't care, right? He's willing if Tommy can put together what Brad considers to be a championship contender, or at least an Eastern Conference contender around him right now this year, then he'll be happy to stay in DC. I don't know if he's going to be happy enough to sign on the dotted line come October 1st when they can give him a.
But we know the Wizards are nowhere close to that.
Sure, but who knows? Tommy might have some Hail Mary up his sleeve.
Sure.
According to what did Quentin Mayo tweet earlier, like Tommy's working hard right now, whatever that means.
Oh yeah, and that's the most clickbait fucking Twitter. Please come like all of my tweets bullshit I've ever seen in my life. Like
spicy Neil.
Yeah,
it's spicy Neil sound effect.
I'm telling you, ever since that video
I can tell you that
ever since that video went up this afternoon.
Ever since I watched Trading Places.
You want me? Hey, am I scratching my head now, motherfucker?
Here's the thing, right? To echo Neil's sentiments of what I've been thinking, and also what I've seen.
You're gonna read another one of my tweets?
No. I mean, this is for me, right? This is like from a psychological standpoint, right? Give you an example, right? Last year, Giannis, right?
Mm-hmm.
They lost. Their team wasn't good enough for whatever reason. They were the number 1 seed, whatever, number 2, whatever. And rumors started coming out a little bit. He's unhappy, right? He's weighing his future, right? And what I'm saying from a psychological standpoint is even me, right, in life, like if I'm saying, you know what, I have the strength to go forward with whatever the way things are, but I'm also unhappy, I got to throw that shit out there, right? Because if I don't throw that shit out there, the people around me think what's going on is okay. Right.
That's true.
And it happens with every superstar. A guy says, you know what, I'm here for life. And management's like, oh, well, he's going to be here. Yeah, we'll make some moves if we have to. But if not, we'll fucking sell some tickets. Right. And Dame Lillard did the same shit. Right. I'm thinking about my future. And then he denied the trade request. Right.
Right.
You got to do something to put some heat on the motherfuckers around you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just say, I want to be in DC forever. End of sentence. Right. You got to say, but you know what? I'm evaluating my options, right?
Yeah,
And look at
I
the
agree with that.
Bucks. Yeah, the Bucks made a simple move. They got a little bit better. It wasn't anything like mind blowing, like oh my god, they're penciled them in for the finals.
Right.
But they won a title this year, right?
Yep.
Because
you think Drew Holiday was a simple move?
no, at
They
the
didn't go out and
time,
land another.
yeah, no, yeah, they didn't go ape
fucking-
shit. Well,
yeah.
yeah,
They
I mean,
didn't
they
even
got the
work
best.
with it.
Would they end up giving up like 3 first-round picks? That's decent. It's not.
No.
But
I mean, that's what they gave up, right?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is they basically traded out Bledsoe for Holiday, right?
right.
Essentially, Bledsoe's not a bad player. He just wasn't a good fit, right? And and they got PJ Tucker, but those PJ Tucker and Drew Holiday, they're great additions. But I don't think anybody thought they were locked for the finals, right?
Sure.
I know I
not a
didn't.
lock,
Yeah.
especially after the
Absolutely
Nets
not.
move.
No.
Exactly. Nobody thought they were a lock.
And your second best player is, with all due respect to Chris Middleton, right? But like he's on the brink of stardom,
Yeah.
if anything, right? So your number 2 guy is just just right above average.
Yeah.
To your point,
So
the roster
look.
wasn't built for a shoo-in in the finals.
Speaking of the Bucks and Giannis, why is it that I know when Giannis, the only 2 times I thought Giannis might start to maybe have gremlins about asking out is one when I think was a J Kidd got fired, like right after he got in the league, and people were like, I don't, he was very open, like he didn't like that move, but he had to kind of buckle down and move with it. And then obviously it was the second time when they were like, Pat Riley's going to swoop in and like swing him over to Miami, and he wants a bigger stage than the way he wants to stay in Milwaukee. But all along, I never believed that Giannis really wanted out. He's just a different kind of guy, right? Very humble,
I'm
very
understanding that
unassuming.
now. At that time, I felt like
Yeah,
he actually did want out. But go ahead.
you did, okay. But I mean,
I
I don't think that was a
didn't know
league wide. I don't think that was a league
Right.
wide sentiment though.
No.
Why is it
Yeah,
that we never believe Brad when he says he
Yeah.
wants to stay in DC? What is it? Can somebody help me understand? Because I never believe it.
Nobody.
I believe it for
thinks
maybe a couple weeks at a time. What is it about Brad?
I think, and I'll be real quick with this. Somebody like Giannis has to win a fucking title, right? He doesn't win a title, whatever he's done is irrelevant. He has that kind of allure, that kind of stature. I'm not saying Brad isn't a really good player, but like I don't feel like Brad has that league-wide pressure on him from a media perspective. Oh, Brad has never been anywhere. He's not
Right.
good, right?
That's true.
It-
Yeah.
Not
it's
Westbrook,
different for
where-
LeBron's
oh,
and Giannis's and Harden's and these other
Right,
guys.
and-
Like
and
they don't win
Brad
championship, they're
also-
failures, right?
Brad
and
also
that's what
carries
Russell
the stigma of
Westbrook
the
is.
Wizards. I mean, Brad also carries the stigma
Yeah.
of the Wizards. Not to say the Bucks are such a better all-around franchise or more popular franchise, but there's a stigma to the Wizards as well. Like the expectations for Bradley Beal are just by default not going to be as high because he's a Wizard, because the team perpetually loses.
Yeah, nobody's
And-
talking
and-
shit
and-
about him.
No one's talking shit about him.
Yeah, no one's talking
and
shit about him.
so
They're just photoshopping him.
right.
Yeah, but they're saying he's a great scorer and he's doing this and blah,
right.
blah,
Yeah,
blah.
exactly. That's what I was going to say. You can still acknowledge his value without setting an equal amount of expectations on him as you would a Giannis. But back to your point about Giannis, Jamal, just for a moment, I did have that doubt in whether or not he was going to come back, just again because of it being Milwaukee, of it being a smaller market, and just also I didn't know Giannis's personality as well as I do now. Like I've been seeing compilation after compilation.
You probably saw the
video
same
of
ones I
his,
saw earlier. Yeah.
the same ones, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
And I also feel like there's a little bit of bias now towards people liking him just because he's so fucking adorable.
Yeah.
Right? Like you see him in the 2013 draft, and he looks like a 6-year-old. Like
He
baby.
does. Yeah.
He's not as
That tweet about the smoothies had me crying. Bro. You
funny,
see that shit?
so funny, and it's
Yeah.
fucking adorable. It's like a Hasbulla fucking video. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly what it feels like.
Hasbulla Giannis. I need that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go. Wow, idea. So no, but I totally get it. But you're right. Brad it's hard to really gauge his brain and his thoughts, regardless of what he says. I kind of feel the same way. I don't pinpoint it to Brad as much as I do to just the entire landscape of things with the Wizards. And that's why I asked about, like, we talk about how we think how we think Bradley Beal feels. But if we really kind of just really put ourselves in Brad's brain and his shoes and say, okay, who am I as a player, and what do I have to benefit with this team, right, moving forward? They have a coach.
It's a hard sell, man.
It's a hard sell. There's a coach that allegedly, again, I haven't read anything beyond a headline about the fact that Brad was unhappy with the hire. But if that is the case, and factoring into him mulling in on his future, that's a big deal, right? And then you've got Russ. Russ is on an expiring contract. You already know that Russ is not a long-term solution
Mhm.
at point guard, right?
Mhm.
He's done after 2023, right? Is when his player option year is, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He's under contract.
And then everybody
fully
else is
next
20
year.
years old. Everybody else is
Player
fucking
option.
20 years old, including a 19-year-old guy who missed half of last season due to injury.
He's 20 now. He's 20 now.
So yeah, but you get it.
He had his bat mitzvah.
By me reading him mulling his future, knowing these things are in place right now with the team, the current status and state of affairs with the team, like it's almost no question to me that he wants out.
This will be very refreshing.
Sounds like jumping the gun, and I don't want to jump the gun. I'm a Brad Stan. I want him here long term.
You wanted to work out, yeah.
I want him to work.
Even
out.
with Mark Spears
Great
coming out, yeah. Even with Mark Spears coming out and saying that he looks at this like the Bucks and what Giannis did is inspirational, and he wants to be the next Wes Unseld for Washington. I still don't believe none of that shit, man. And that's a shame.
You can like the idea of that. Like, there's a lot of things you like the idea of, but you never actually pursue it, right? Like, he likes the idea of Giannis
lobster mac and cheese.
Team. Yeah,
I want it. It's probably not better than mac and cheese, the regular mac and cheese. If I get a lobster tail and the mac and cheese separately, it's probably just as good.
But you get it though, right? Giannis wanted to stick. He actually believed that. I feel Brad does also actually believe that. But
Giannis also was a firm believer.
Get what Giannis got.
Giannis is always old school and thinking like he said he doesn't believe in teaming up with a whole bunch of superstars and winning the title. Like he wants to carry the load and be old school with the shit. So
that should touch my.
And Brad
everybody is going to feel that way
way
eventually. Everybody would feel that way eventually. To my opinion. Like,
maybe.
You suffer long enough.
And look, the key word is suffer, because people look at Washington and players saying like, oh, they deserve better.
Yeah.
Like this been a really incompetently run franchise. Like they really need better.
Yeah.
I was afraid for Brad to go to the Olympics and stay there because that's when other stars get in your ear. He could be in. I mean, look, Tatum is his boy. Tatum could be like, man, fuck DC. Like, come from a better franchise.
Dude,
Anybody.
I used to think about John Wall at the All-Star game every year when he would play with those All-Stars. Not just the fact that somebody would get in his ear, but just his own experience. Like, fuck, this is what it's like to play combat.
We're such fucking battered fans. Listen to this shit, man. We're afraid for our players to go play with other stars because they might leave. It's like you don't want your girl to go to fucking.
But you need you need that kind of pressure. Like, look at these guys. Like LeBron, to his credit, man. No matter what the fuck happens, you can win 81 games, and LeBron will be like, "This team's not what it's supposed to be. We need a backup point guard. We need a fucking new assistant coach. We need like KD. Like KD will leave the greatest team of all time in a fucking heartbeat, right? What happens? He goes to a team, they hire a fucking coach just because, he might get along with him. He has no head coaching experience. Like none of that shit, right?
Yeah.
Like
I was gonna say just a few minutes ago, you sounded like you would join a 7-3 win team. Would you?
Me?
Yeah.
Would I? Yeah, I would. In that situation, I
would. Shit, get me a ring, sign me up.
Fuck it. Like, because once that happens, the perception changes. They can't take that shit away from you. Nobody can take anything away from Giannis anymore. Nobody can take that shit away from KD.
That's true.
Nobody can say anything. Like, let the media write 5 hit pieces on Bradley Beal, right? He'll be demanding a fucking trade. Trust me, right? Like, he doesn't have that pressure right now. That's what I think. Like,
you can't take anything away from KD unless you never gave it to him in the first place.
Of course, but I mean, I don't judge players by championships. That's just me. But
tell that to Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, well, he's a fucking whatever. Let's not get into that.
So there's a timer to this Bradley Beal shit, right? Because the draft is coming up in a few days, Thursday, tomorrow when you're listening to this, right? So
maybe the day of when you're listening.
This is the day of, right? So by Friday, all the shit will be in the past, and we'll have to wait until October to see whether or not he signs that extension, or if anything comes out beforehand about him verbally committing to an extension. How much do we trust a Bradley Beal pinky promise? Jamal's like, nah, fuck this.
I want to believe. I can't get there. I can't get there.
He want to see the PDF.
Look, man, we're either going to be.
He's not
by
going to
Friday morning. By Friday morning, we would either be, marginally better, or we will be in rebuild mode, like 100%. Because if Brad goes, Russ will be right behind him, and we could be looking at a really Orlando level roster, possibly. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that's the fear. That's why I can't shake the Brad asking out thing.
I
because
don't necessarily
wanna-
buy
I
the
wanted to-
timeline though. I don't buy that the deadline is the draft. Yes, it is very convenient.
Brad is
Yeah.
not naive.
Brad would come to you and said, "Hey, look, man, love it, but I doubt I'm going to be here
Right.
next year." It would be great
So-
if he said that. I would
Yeah.
love to take Wiseman, the 7th pick, the 14th pick from Golden State,
Right.
and
which is the best
accelerate a
offer
rebuild.
rumored. Yeah.
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 I would love to take Jaylen Brown and whatever else the Celtics can scrounge up, but I don't think Brad's going to do that. Brad is going to see what happens in the offseason, and then come October, he'll make his decision. More likely than not, he's not going to sign an extension. Then the Wizards
Jamal.
have to run it back and then get to the trade deadline and evaluate again. The trade deadline is the real deadline.
Mhm.
Yes. I agree.
Okay. That's fair.
Jamal, real quick, Jamal, does the idea of having a new GM, so to speak, still new, second-year GM coming into his third year,
Mhm.
and a new head coach, does it intrigue you at all seeing a complete rebuild of the team to the bone with two fresh faces in the front office? I asked this because as a Dolphins fan, I went through this exact thing, right? You had a new GM, new head coach, new quarterback all in one season. And obviously we had a lot more assets and capital in terms of salary cap and draft. That was exciting as well. But just the excitement of saying, okay, we're gonna start this over from scratch, no remnants of the past. And we're gonna do this thing all over again. We're gonna build draft capital. We so far to this point we trust Tommy and his approach. He's done some very good things. Unseld, the jury's still out on him, but we know where he comes from. Doesn't intrigue you at all? Starting so fresh.
Yeah, a couple thoughts. First, I think the jury's still out on Tommy. I think we need to get another kind of full year.
Agreed.
See where he goes with this year.
Agreed.
So I'm still evaluating that piece of it.
That's part of the excitement. I mean, or the intrigue. Like, this is Tommy's team now. But go ahead.
Yeah. The other thing is, if the rebuild were to happen now with the fresh faces, I wouldn't feel as excited about it as I would have like 3 years ago when I really, really wanted them to rebuild. I think it was 3 years ago when John fucked his foot up twice. I think when he was out with the heel, and then I think ruptured his Achilles.
What's the difference between now and then?
Nothing really. I'm more
Waste
emotionally.
Brad
Well,
averages
I'm just-
5 more points a game.
Yeah, I'm just a little more emotionally.
It's exciting.
I bought into the Russ and Brad show a little bit.
Okay.
I kind of wanted. I believe the hype on. Oh yeah, they can make a trade and get a third piece in. That hope is rapidly slipping. So if we fell into rebuild mode beginning like this week, the shit would suck. It has to happen at some point, but man, it would be terrible.
I totally get that, and I've been saying that a lot. I've been saying how much of a colossal fuck up it was to mess up John and Brad, right? Like, you just for 9 years you couldn't build a competent roster around them. A third guy, a good draft pick. You perpetually gave up on young guys, right?
Yep.
Shipped away high picks for Reynolds. Like, just fuck, man.
Like so much shit has to go right to build a great franchise.
And so to that point, Jamal, like, I've already succumbed to that belief, right?
That we're about to rebuild.
No. The fact that the which, like, even with Russ and Brad, like them fucking up Russ and Brad, I'm numb to that now. Like, they've already fucked up so much that let's just end it. Let's pull the plug, nip it in the bud, right? Russ is not going to move the needle. Russ is due $40 million at age 35.
He's only getting worse.
You're right. And so, like, just nip in the bud now. I get where you're coming from, but I felt that way. I guess I did feel that way 3 years ago. And I was like,
I was a big fan of tanking before they even rearranged the lottery system. I was like, we gotta just, this core that we're carrying is just not it. It's not good enough to compete. Kind of makes you wonder if they sold Wes Unseld on, hey, here's a team now, but it could look like something very different before the season starts.
Yeah, that's a great point. And Neil, maybe you have a thought on this, but did Unseld have an idea? Was he under the notion that he's gonna have Russ and Brad clear cut for 2 straight seasons, or did he have any sort of idea that the Wizards might completely dismantle?
And Neil, last thing, did anybody else even fucking want Wes Unseld? Go ahead.
So the Magic reportedly did want he was their final two guys out of the two guys that then they eventually hired.
The other team, Jamal says the worst roster in the league. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. You know that probably helped Ted Leon to save a couple $1 billion.
Oh shit, man! It's an arms race between us and the fucking Magic.
And then the Magic hired somebody else. So
yeah, they did.
But I think, and Chase Hughes wrote about this. Wes Unseld is in a very unique position. He is literally, as Abdullah was alluding to, he has 1 year potentially of Russ and Brad as a core. Obviously Tommy's going to say you can't run it back because obviously you can't. You can't run back an 8-seed team and think that you're going to contend. But Unseld is under this position now where he has that, and if things don't go well with them, you will have a very different team for the other 3 years of your contract. And that's what I think really sold the Wizards. He's watching film with Ted and Tommy, and he's saying, okay, this is how I can develop Ruby. This is how I can develop Denny. And that's what they're kind of putting their balls in their basket in and said,
well, and that's great. That's what I'm hoping for. One of the things about Wes that I want to see is I want to see him be able to develop this young raw talent. Something the Wizards have ran away from for so many years.
Yeah,
right? I've been abysmal at.
Yeah, and there's going to be a story come out how Wes Unseld taught Jamal Murray how to tie his shoes in a different way that helped him score more points.
You know what?
The fuck.
No, Unseld does have a track record though between Vucevic and Tobias Harris in Orlando, Clay, Steph in Golden State, Michael Porter Jr., Jokic, Jamal Murray. He's had something. He's got better than the Wizards have had for the past 10 years.
That's great. Yeah, but if anything, he's actually seen the development of those guys or how they're developed. Like I said, the Wizards, you have a number 3 pick, Otto Porter, and he ranked 3rd all time in least minutes played for a top 5 pick. And the other guy was Darko Milicic and Greg Oden.
Oh, God.
All right, so he helped cook some fillets, and now he's working with New York strips, and that's what's gonna happen.
So,
fuck.
Listen, no, this is good. This is good. I'm all about the team dismantling, starting fresh. Let's see what Tommy and Wes can put together from scratch. And Ted just has to be. He's gonna have to fucking deal with it. All right. We got to tell. We got to.
Not like they put Ted, fans in the stands anyway.
Hey Ted, I don't want to hear about it. All right, the team's gonna suck for a couple of years. We're gonna win 15, 20 games. All right. Shout out to Abe Poland. All right, he knows what it's like. He knew what it was like. So
that 2009 season was rough.
Yeah.
So go back to my childhood with this fucking team winning 20 games. I can't do it.
And that's
full
like
circle.
Abdullah said.
Fuck.
Abdullah said,
some of
your
your
Brad to stay. I really want Brad to stay because otherwise I don't know anybody in that fucking locker room anymore. They all have left me. I'll be the last man standing.
Yeah.
Jamal, some of your darkest stories have been like your trips to the Cap One Center. Even though you glorified them, like they were like a staple of your childhood.
Yeah.
Me hearing them, it was very dark, like very gloomy. Like you
literally
you tried hard to make them sound like good memories.
Yeah, that's when they were giving away bullets tickets for like a fucking rotisserie chicken. Like you just like nobody cared to go to the games. Like it's come a long way.
Liddell Eccles, man, that's your go-to
that's
name.
My
drop
man's,
too.
yeah. Let's get him on the show. Let's get Liddell on the show.
We can probably pull it. We'll pull it. So we'll move away from the Wizards technically, right? So we've talked about a little bit of a domino effect here, right? That if Brad does end up getting moved, that the Wizards would also just, completely take it down and move Russ as well. So with that said, teams have obviously been making calls. The Lakers are at the top of that list for Russ. There's always been like a connection with Russ in LA when it comes to like trade rumors and these kind of things. Obviously, he's from there. Where is he from? I don't want to say Riverside. Riverside might be
UCLA. I mean, he went to UCLA, right? I don't know where he's from.
Riverside might be too white for Russ, so I don't want to say he's from Riverside, but yeah, he's from the LA area. Anyways, what do you think? This is obviously really kind of jumping the gun here, but
Long Beach.
Yeah. So would LA really try to make this kind of deal? If they do, it puts them in like a strict win now mode, right? Because they're obviously going to be inheriting that contract.
Yeah.
Always in win now mode, but
right. They are, especially now after the last few years of Kobe. Right, but after the last few years of Kobe and then LeBron coming on board and him getting injured, they were still so much.
If you have LeBron, you're in win now mode every second.
You're always in win now mode. So the Lakers would definitely, try to pounce on that. What would
it's very hard to see though, because so the initial thing that Mark Spears threw out there was a sign and trade on the Lakers end, where they sign and trade both Dennis Schroeder and Taylor Horton Tucker, who I believe are both free agents, and Kyle Kuzma. And of course, it comes out that Kuzma and Schroeder had beef this season. Like that trade is just never going to happen, even if you can.
Schroeder's going to be asking for Russ type of money,
right? So, and he's lunatic for thinking that, but never going to happen.
So it seems like fans are driving more of this Russ to LA thing, because if you look at that Schroeder and that's a shit deal. I mean, those guys. I hate Schroeder. That's a personal thing. But I don't think any of that package is appealing as far as prying Russ away, unless we just want to get away from some money. But I think that none of those guys to me are people I look at and say, oh yeah, this is a step toward building something new with a new type of core. Those guys suck, man.
In a world where the Wizards are going into full rebuild, where they've traded Brad and now they're looking to trade Russ as well, they're going to probably take back one or two bad contracts, and it might be in a 3-team trade somehow, and then hope to get even more, another first or second round pick or multiple picks back as well for taking on those bad contracts. But they're going to hope that it's, not like another 3 years on the end of it or anything like that.
Yeah. I'm not. I like the Warriors rumor a lot better as far as something that includes 2 lottery picks and
why that's for Brad.
And
for Russ, they're gonna have to do something.
And I would
crazy.
take in our bad contract we take on would be Wiggins in that case, who isn't terrible,
right? Doesn't have a ton of years left.
That Lakers shit is not it. That's not it.
Correct.
Zane, are you ever gonna become a Lakers fan again?
Never.
Ever.
As long as LeBron's there, never.
I like that. I think I would say what the driving force of these Russ LA rumors has been from his stands. They want him the fuck out of DC.
Yeah.
His stands are just a rabid people. Very tragic too. They're probably the worst I've seen.
Russell Westbrook?
Yeah. Russ stands?
Oh, Russ
really?
They're insane. Like they
pretty
How
bad.
could you sit up here and say that when you shit on Bron stands like every week?
It's different because Bron stands are right. Bron haters are right.
Haters are right. Okay.
No. But the Russ, they're different. They're a different species. You haven't really noticed them on Twitter at all, Jamal?
He's not on Twitter that much.
Yeah, I float on Twitter.
Okay.
I just follow.
All right, I'll send you guys some screenshots.
I got like a boomer Twitter name and shit. It's real bad.
Put that on the action item list. I'll send you guys some screenshots. They're an interesting crew.
Okay.
So another LA rumor, DeRozan. This might have a little more truth to it. We'll see how it goes.
It's all these players with LA ties, by the way. All these players.
Yeah, these are players with LA ties. That's absolutely right. DeRozan is from Carson. DeRozan actually. Oh no, I'm mixing. I got him mixed up with Aaron Aflalo. Aaron Aflalo is from Carson. He actually grew up across the street from my uncle.
And Aaron Aflalo, DeMar DeRozan, former Blood Gang members. Whoop whoop. So whoop.
Yeah. So Blood was on the Shannon Sharp podcast.
You ain't Blood.
And he said, quote, "You can't ask a kid if they want to play at home and think they'll say no. At some point, you will definitely want to have that opportunity, especially if they want to. Why not? It's a great opportunity." Is DeRozan a good fit in LA? I don't like.
Only Kevin Durant felt that way.
No shit, man.
He doesn't solve what they need. But he's gonna sell tickets and it's gonna be a great story. But he can't shoot, so
yeah, he's a.
Do they need another wing slasher? I don't think so. I think that doesn't give him too much closer.
That's my 2K profile, wing slasher.
Right.
That's everybody.
But I got
62.
I got 3 defensive badges.
Okay.
Clamps.
Right.
You got to get the clamps.
Yeah.
I bought them shits.
Yo.
I know I did.
No, I didn't.
I splurged. One time I was getting so angry, I just spent like $400 on fucking coins and shit. It was so bad. I like 99 everything.
You ever spend like $75 on your player and then like restart your season?
All the time.
I only play like my son plays my player. I play just my GM, so he'll just take all my VC and blow it on his fucking terrible point guards.
So funny.
Shot after contact is just like a fucking 63. Like, come on, man. You're upgrading the wrong shit. Can't shoot free throws, but got like a 99 and 3 points. Like,
that's crazy. I like going with the playmaker. What is it called? The playmaking finisher. Because like the crossover moves, and I really don't care for shooting. I always end up driving anyways. It'll be like a wide open mid range jumper, and I'm still like driving the ball.
Oh, I love to shoot.
Yeah. I try to get into.
You
it,
mean
but
I get a 2K game going, son?
Come through. You know what it is.
All right. Sound like Donkey Kong.
So DeRozan, again, the same flaws or the same criticisms over the same flaws anywhere he goes. I think
they just want anybody who can score.
Right.
They just want somebody who can score.
Yeah. But he's been. I don't know if it's been worse with his age, but he's been a liability on defense. Just some straight up.
But let's put it in perspective. If AD was healthy, they would be in the finals this year.
Yeah.
And they might have won.
Yeah.
So they just need something.
You know, it sucks, man. AD really took that team to the championship last year. I mean, his playoff performance was so good. And I always joked, AD carried Bron. But I wanted to see a healthy AD kind of follow that up. I wanted to know it's real.
Counterpoint: AD might be in like Kawhi territory now, as far as just never being healthy for a full season ever again.
Yeah, that's fine.
So they do need another good piece.
That's a good point.
They need shooting. That's what their biggest need is.
Yeah. So, did you have something?
Nah, just mocking you. Yeah.
So the last
AD
little
is
bit.
not naive.
The last little bit here, and then we'll talk about the draft. Is Alonzo's name was also appearing. He's going to be a free agent. The Pelicans made a big trade this past week. It was more of a salary dump trade. They acquired Jonas Valanciunas from Memphis, the number 17 draft pick, and the number 51 pick overall for Steven Adams, Eric Bledsoe, the number 10 pick, the number 40 pick, and a protected first round pick, which is actually the Lakers pick.
Top 10 protected.
Top 10 protected. Potentially to try to open up a space for a seasoned vet. Lowry's been in the running for that. Lowry's also been mentioned in some Lakers headlines as well, which makes Lonzo expendable. I like the Bulls roster. They're a very young team with a few veterans. I like Markkanen. They got Vucevic, which is a great addition, I thought. Kobe White's coming up. Zach LaVine, of course, their all-star. Putting Lonzo on that team. Lonzo's been playing better than he had initially.
I like that a lot. I like that move a lot. I think Lonzo, he's been getting so much buzz over the off season about where he could end up and how much he can really help a team. And let's look at Chicago's in win now mode. They should have been in the play-in. The fact that they flamed out, I know Zach he ended up in that COVID protocols, but when they made the trade for Nicole, I was like, oh, they'll be in the play-in at least.
Yeah,
they have two good kind of anchors inside and out. Like you said, Kobe White's is solid. So I would like to see Lonzo in Chicago personally. I think it'll be a good fit for him. But I think there's going to be some other suitors for him too out there. New Orleans is challenged with trying to do something for Zion. And I know people are saying it's too much for a guy that's only in his second year. But New Orleans is up against a small market and a brand new coach, trying to bring something to go alongside Zion. They have an uphill battle there. I don't know what that's going to look like because they're not the most appealing free agent destination, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Especially now, kind of just blowing it up a little bit there. So a lot of picks went floating around with that major trade. I think that was the first major trade right before the draft, which is actually on Thursday, tomorrow night, at 8 p.m. at Barclays Center. Kind of just reversing back to the Wizards here. We know they got the 15th overall pick. We know this is Tommy's team now. He's historically an international guy. 15 sounds like a prime international spot.
I'm scared.
Right?
Nah, he's gonna
So-
trade up to 9 and get another international guy 3 years in a row.
there's a whole window there of international prospects, everything between like 9 and 17, and then you'll go back to some like backup point guard from Villanova with the 18th pick. So the Wizards, what do you like, Jamal? I know you've been kind of following a lot of these players, a lot of these prospects. The question is, do they keep the pick? If they do, who do you like? The best guy available, like we kind of talked about last week.
Yeah, I think at this stage, I'm assuming they're going to keep their pick at 4. It was a 15. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think I would not be opposed to them drafting a quote unquote older player. So a guy that might be a college junior or senior. I'm thinking about Chris Duarte, who is a very good, wing defender and shooter. They need 3-and-D, this fable thing that we've been trying to get for like fucking 10 years plus now. And I think he can fit that need and come in and contribute right away. Yeah. And then other than that, Kispert, who unfortunately I think he's going to go higher than 15. Statistically the best 3-point shooter in the draft. He shot like in the mid 40s for Gonzaga. Gonzaga's a fantastic program. Those guys can come in and play right away. It would be a dream to have him, another Gonzaga teammate with Rui on the squad. The wild card that I'm seeing in some mocks lately is a Spanish player named Usman Garuba, who is looking to be possibly the second best defender in the draft behind Scotty Barnes. Guy whose offensive game is going to be a true work in progress. I mean, he probably won't be able to do much scoring at all. And I don't know if he's a starter at this point, but still, if we're looking at, we have enough scoring and we need more defense, and Wes is a good defensive type of coach, reputation wise, then he would be a fit there. I think even if the Wizards trade down, he would still be, Garuba might still be there probably in the 20s because he's just starting to get a lot of buzz.
He's in the Olympics playing for Spain now, so that's definitely going to give him some eyeballs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the Olympics is doing a lot for guys too. And I'm thinking about, I got a couple other points. Josh Giddey is getting a lot of buzz. Australian, I think it's a point guard, big point guard. Getting a lot of rave reviews about how he's played with the Australian national team. 6'8" point guard. Yeah, I mean that's I mean look at LaMelo and those guys. I mean that's kind of maybe where the league is starting to go. So he's getting a lot of buzz. Also Franz Wagner, Mo's little brother, shooting up the draft boards also. A lot of teams are looking at him. The Kings and the Grizzlies really like him. There's rumor the Kings, or if the Kings don't trade out of the draft, which is a possibility, because they really want to get in win Mo too, then they would like him. And then also the Grizzlies may be rumored to try to move up again to get there available to grab Franz. The guy who's fallen is Jonathan Kuminga, who on some early mocks.
Oh, your guy.
He was, yeah. About a year ago, he was slated top 3, almost a lock right after, Cade and Mobley and Jalen Green right around there. But I think people have gotten more of a look at it. He played for G League Ignite over the past season, and his shooting numbers are really, like, the 3-point shooting in particular is really bad. I think he shot like 28% for 3. And he's getting this reputation of not exerting himself on both ends of the floor. They say he kind of looks like he's coasting sometimes. Sometimes he gets the ball, he's like a black hole on offense. He's got the NBA body. I mean, he's got like a fucking Harrison Barnes type body, but he offensively is going to come with some challenges. So I think he may drop to around possibly number between 7 and 9, around that range, which again is a disappointment for him because he was expected to be top 4 for a while. So he's slipping a little bit. The word is if he falls to the Warriors and the Warriors keep their pick, he'd be a great fit there, because he's going to be a guy that can't be relied upon to be a big time contributor right away, like a Jalen Green or like an Evan Mobley, or like a Kay Cunningham. So he's slipping a little. So maybe there's always a guy that's in the green room looking fucking embarrassed after like the 4th commercial break because he's still there. That guy might be coming. I don't think he's going to fall that far, but it's possible that he does slip a little bit. So that's something else to watch out for.
I don't care who the Wizards get. Obviously, I want them to make the right pick. I just want them to buy in and commit. Right, 15 is a very tricky spot.
Sure,
we've seen some great players come out of that range. Right, we talk about
Giannis.
Talk about Kawhi. We talk about some of these other guys. Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine was actually probably a little bit higher, but I want them to buy and commit. I want to be able to trust. And I feel like, again, and Zane's gonna snicker, but that's kind of what I feel like Wes Unseld is, like a guy who will buy in and commit to get whoever lands at 15, to get them developed and to be patient. We haven't seen that at all. And you made up you made a point earlier this week when we were talking, like, what should the Wizards try to buy a second rounder? Yes, fucking buy the second rounder, because I want to see what they do with it. I want to see how much they commit to it, financially to get the second rounder, and then who they pick, and then what they try to do with that second round pick. Right? Not to say that.
And hopefully it doesn't turn out to be Admiral Schofield again.
But
I would love. Yeah, I would love for a second. First of all, I'm definitely in favor of them buying a pick, and I would love to see a second rounder work out. The Wizards have never seemed to value second round picks. Ernie Grunfeld, I think he was almost on the record saying he didn't really see the point.
And Tommy is the anti of that, because Tommy did quite literally buy the Admiral Schofield pick. It didn't work out great, but he's willing to do that.
Yeah. I look at guys like, I hope Cassius works out. I feel like I'm watching my little brother there. I don't know if he's going to be around, but yeah, I would look, if Wes is a player development guy, let's have him earn a check and bring somebody along.
Exactly. That's why, like, when we talk about like the Beal trade, and with the Warriors, like, what intrigues me the most is Wiseman, because personally, I see certain players, and how you just kind of feel like they've got some raw elements there that can really be developed. Like, they just have the natural talent, and Wiseman has that. And I saw, he was hurt a lot last year, but I saw a lot of glimpses of him just being able to take over a possession. And I'm not just talking about like a game or a stretch, just possession by possession, to be able to really perform well in a possession. And I saw that a few times last year, and that's a guy that I feel would be like a textbook, like a litmus test for Wes Unseld to try to develop, like a guy who's got a year under his belt, right? Yeah. He had high expectations coming into the league. He was a big prospect, and
he had Draymond Green showing him out.
Right. What can you do with that kind of guy? Like, I would love to see Wiseman just for that, not just for that, but just that's a big part of it. I want to see what a guy like Unseld could do, because it would just say a lot about what he could do with other guys. So, so that's it. That's all you got for the draft.
Yeah, that's the buzz now. Yeah. Again, I expect to see maybe one or two trades. I don't think blockbusters are going to happen, but I do expect some guys to try to move up. Again, keep your eye on the Kings, the Grizzlies, and maybe the Bulls, and also OKC, because they have packs. They might be trying to roll some things, some of their picks together to move up even further. Yeah. So keep an eye on them too.
They're the kind of team that will also be like, hey, we'll be the third team and help facilitate trades.
Precisely. Yeah. They're not in win-now mode for a while, so they can play around with some stuff.
Supposedly, they offered the Detroit Pistons Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the sixth pick for the right to Cade Cunningham at number 1, who supposedly the Pistons are not sold on yet, but I have a hard time believing that he's not picked 1 second once they're on
I think that's smoke and mirrors. The interesting thing is Evan Mobley's camp apparently doesn't want to go to. They don't want to go to Houston. So that's and I think Jalen Green has done enough to leapfrog Mobley anyway. But I thought that was an interesting thing that his camp put out. Like, we don't really want to come to Houston. Poor Steven Silas, man.
Poor guy.
I look at Silas and I'm like, that's the same thing that could happen to Wes Unseld Jr. Like, the team you sign up for is not the team you're gonna get.
That's the floor.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Shit. All right, man. Any Tommy surprises, Neil?
I think at the end of the day, they're not going to trade Beal in the next 48 hours. I don't think that's happening. I think ideally they would love to trade the 15th pick for some immediate help if they think that it will get Brad to commit October 1st when he's eligible for an extension. But I don't think they're not going to make Rui or most likely Denny available. That's not going to, the 15th pick alone is not going to really get you a Jeremy Grant quality type of player.
Right.
So, maybe they look to move back. Maybe they make their pick. And, I think a Chris Duarte type player, they brought him in for a pre-draft workout. Obviously he's 24 years old, but somebody that can help now. He's not a, Denny Avdia 2.0.
What'd you say?
Delvin Mack type of guy.
Seasoned guy.
Man.
Seasoned college vet.
So we'll see, because essentially Tom Shepard, this is big time now for him. He has to convince Brad you don't have a lot of other assets besides this pick to do anything.
Yeah.
And this might be your job on the line if Ted says, "Oh, you couldn't keep my best player." Well, then you're out.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point.
All right. Well, y'all go ahead and geared up for the draft on Thursday night. Neil at Neil Dalal 96. That's where you want to set your alerts and notifications.
But if you want to hear Zane's voice, continue listening every week. He might pop in with some more mean tweets, like Jimmy Kimmel segment.
Mean tweets.
All right, man. We're gonna switch over to the NFL right quick.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I was on mute.
Teams are in a little bit of a pickle league wide, trying
Pickle?
to.
I love a
Still,
pickle.
yeah. I wanted to make a tuna salad tonight. I can't make tuna salad without pickles.
Fucking hate pickles. Ugh.
Really?
What?
Really?
I love pickles,
They're
bro.
great.
You don't
Gotta
like
get you some
some pickle spear on the side of your steak and cheese sandwich? Like, no?
Yeah, on the fucking side.
Yeah, on the side. I don't want
Yeah.
pickles on my sandwich either.
Yeah, on the side. I don't touch it.
I will pick the fuck out of a pickle.
Yeah, but he's saying he doesn't eat it either.
Yeah, it's just on the side. Leave that shit on the
Oh, you
side.
just keep it on the side. Okay. That's fucked up, man.
Fucking nasty.
Okay. All right.
All tangy and shit.
Shit's getting tangy for some anti-vaxxers in the NFL because teams are trying to implement, put in place some sort of regulation or guidelines or culture, at the least, right, around some of these vaccinations, because obviously some players are refusing it. You know how it goes, and so, but in spite of all that, there's also been kind of an upstick in COVID numbers across the league. I think 13 NFL staffers, Adam Schefter reported, 4 players have tested positive despite being vaccinated, right? And so now you've got that fucking peanut gallery, coming out, talking about, oh well, I thought the
vaccines work. I thought they work.
Please go educate yourself.
It doesn't matter, dude. People have agendas. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter.
So it's a shit show. We know Cole Beasley's been like an adamant anti-vaxxer. I think he's threatened to retire, or he might get ousted from the bill. So that's the thing. That's the pickle that the teams are in, right? Is how do we handle these players, right? We want to establish a fully vaxxed culture, right? I don't want to say like a mandate or anything, but like a culture of everyone being vaxxed, because now the NFL is working on trying to identify the players that aren't vaxxed, right? They're gonna fucking wear like wristbands, ankle bracelets, and shit to identify them as non-vaccinated, right? Because you're in a high contact sport, with blood, sweat, and tears everywhere, right? People shitting themselves, pissing themselves.
Yeah.
So a lot of contact, and so I think if any league would implement some sort of mandate on vaccines, it would be the NFL. But any thoughts on this, on what we think the NFL should do? I mean,
It's pretty sad. I'll just say that, Ron Rivera, start of Washington football team training camp, they reportedly have a vaccine rate among their players of, just a bit over 50%. The dichotomy to that.
They in Georgia territory right now.
Yeah, like the dichotomy.
That's really bad.
I think I'm pretty sure it was the Ravens that have a 90% vaccination rate. So literally a few miles apart and vastly different results. And Ron Rivera's like, I'm immunocompromised. I have to wear a mask around, the majority of my team a lot of the times, things like that. And, he's like, it is frustrating. And if I was a head coach, I'd damn well be frustrated too, that if you couldn't get through to your players and say, look, this is safe. This is for benefit to you, your family, the rest of the team, and they still can't sell things. It's tough.
I like teams taking a hardline stance on personnel. I mean, the Vikings obviously lost an assistant because he refused to get vaccinated. But as far as the players, who is it? Chappelle says, well, fuck them. That's why. Yeah. but you know, players are what it comes down to, and I think it might take some really intimate conversations with guys to see what their source of, you know, opposition's effect. Yeah, like what does it really come down to?
Have to,
yeah, because it's not. I mean, these guys are in peak physical condition. Maybe you have to convince them that, hey, your lack of vaccination is going to arguably cost us games at some point. It's going to cost us, but there's going to be a snowball to maybe forfeiting draft picks because of, you know, your hesitancy. But yeah, they need some different type of ambassadors to carry forward the message to see if that makes a difference, because it's not getting through now.
COVID in general, you have the political side to it, right? You've got media influencing ideas and thoughts, but then you've got like people like ourselves, right, that have actually on the ground have experienced people getting COVID, people dying from COVID, right? Miriam's uncle died of COVID. A close friend of mine, her father died of COVID. We've seen people going in and out of the hospital suffering from COVID. And then you look at the vaccination, right? Like, I'm fully vaxxed. Everyone I know is fully vaxxed. And we've seen, you know, the result of that, right? No one's getting sick. People that have tested positive have been asymptomatic, right? So at some point, like, you know, when we're talking about these intimate conversations, like, do people see this? Do people realize this? Can you make what is clouding your judgment on the vax when you've seen how much it's changed just society in general, from people dying of COVID to people not dying of COVID? Like, it's not even about what you're seeing nationally or what you're seeing in the news. It's just your own experience, right? Like, my own experience has been this, right? It went from a shit show last year to now we're all fully vaxxed, we're healthy. And I've known one or two people distantly that have gotten COVID, and it was like nothing. It was just a thing, right? They were asymptomatic. They got over it. They were fully vaxxed. It wasn't a big deal. What is it? What is it that's holding these players back? So that conversation has to be had, because I don't know what teams in the NFL are going to end up doing.
Just telling you, man, the social media disinformation machine is powerful, dude. And a lot of people you think might think like you sincerely don't. They buy into the worst things on a daily basis. And unfortunately, people dig their heels in when you try to peel back and say, actually, this stuff is very wrong. So they got a challenge in their hands, and they need to figure it out soon, because, you know, we are, how many, first preseason game is like next weekend, right? Weekend after next.
Right around the corner.
Shit, you're right.
It's first week of August usually, a Hall of Fame game. So I mean, we're rolling, and they gotta. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's Goodell's challenge right there.
All right. Well, they got to figure something out. The question is now, is Deshaun Watson vaccinated? Because his ass is back on the market now after several months of, you know, all that other shit that was going on. I guess those 89 accusers just, you know, they were just a spotlight for a moment. And it's just completely, there was no conclusion to that. Nothing, like, there's no one tied up any loose ends on that. Yeah, but I know it's still pending.
It's gonna go away.
It just kind of went away. It's like, oh, hey, yeah, Deshaun Watson, Texans are feeling trade offers again. And photoshops again of him in the Dolphins uniform. And now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, shit, Xavier Howard grew up in Houston. Could be good trade bait.
How would you feel about the Dolphins? Like, I mean, actively courting him, making a move, like what that's your team.
I exactly. We went through this, I think, when we first started the pod, or early on when his name was hot, and I was a supporter of it. I get what the whole Tua side of things and the investment in him and his potential. But again, Deshaun Watson, you're talking about a top 5 quarterback on a roster that has some playmakers on offense, has a great defense, an up-and-coming defense, and a great coach. And why wouldn't you want to put a 26, 27-year-old guy at that level of talent on that kind of a roster, especially if he's willing to come here and play? What it does to Tua, obviously, I think Tua, I mean, initially those trade rumors packaged Tua in a deal to Houston for Watson. I don't know if that's the case now. If Xavier Howard is involved as a trade piece for that kind of transaction. Speaking of Xavier Howard, I mean, this motherfucker signed a contract 3 years ago a 5-year, $90 million contract that made him one of the highest paid cornerbacks in the league. But I guess he didn't read the fine print. There's some clauses in that in that contract that has him demanding more money. There has been a lot of context revealed about what the situation is.
Yeah.
He's calling it, unfaithful.
I just saw the letter he wrote on Twitter.
So yeah, exactly. So I'm upset about it.
Neil, have you seen Unfaithful?
No, I have not.
I'm gonna need you to watch that.
I'm really pissed about it. I think the Dolphins secondary, as young as it is pretty talented. It's okay. They're very young and raw, and Xavier Howard was the anchor of that secondary. And I think he was a top 3 cornerback. He's fantastic.
Is having Deshaun worth the media circus that's going to follow?
Is he? Is he worth it?
Think wisely before you answer.
That's a great question. Just it being Miami, it being Watson, it being the whole dynamic of the team right now. Is he worth it? I don't know. It depends on how much that media.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. Deshaun Watson was working on a Dr. Sebi documentary right before all these accusations came out.
Because look, we haven't seen a guy make it through
Yeah.
these type of like charges and land on his feet somewhere else and actually be successful. I mean, there are guys who had like who's the guy that got fucked up in MMA? The former Dallas player, Greg
Hardy.
He popped back up, but he wasn't like anywhere near the profile of Deshaun, and like fucking Richie Incognito's doing racist shit, and he still gets
Greg Hardy.
But shit dies down, man. There's a news cycle. It dies down. You deal with the BS, and then that's just always what happens. It always fucking happens.
Right.
Yeah. So, Aaron Rodgers showed up to work this morning.
Yeah.
With an understanding that the end is near.
Yeah, I think there was a mutual understanding, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. I think that the whole bickering. I think he got what he wanted. He knew that he could get the Packers to commit to him for 1 year, knowing that he's.
Let's see what accusations come out about him.
Yeah, exactly.
What did he do to Danica Patrick?
Yeah.
What did he do to Olivia Munn?
Did he appreciate Olivia Munn's feet?
I
was wondering about that.
Did he suckle on them?
If they came with the side of pickles, oh shit.
Yeah.
They're bringing the band back together. I just saw Randall Cobb is getting traded back to Green Bay. Like that, it's like
he's like 50 years old.
It's like a TV reunion.
Greg Jennings gonna unretire.
Greg Jennings.
Donald Driver.
Bring back
Donald Driver.
Jermichael Finley.
Remember, Greg Jennings put the team on his back.
Yeah, exactly.
Who gets that reference? Come on,
I got you. You know me. I am a child of the internet.
Yes, you are. He carried the team on his back on a broken leg, 99, and eluded one of the greatest, hardest hitting safeties in the league.
Who is that? Sharper.
Darren Sharper. Okay, Neil, I'm impressed.
Another guy who I don't fucking understand, Darren. That shit baffles me to this fucking day.
The most good-looking
He's
football
fucking
player in
hot.
NFL history.
Guys,
fucking beautiful
women. He's so good looking.
Motherfuckers have
Good
kinks, but in some cases the kinks are fucking illegal.
Yeah, exactly. Those fetishes, like
he didn't want a conscious woman. He wanted an unconscious woman. He wanted another type of power play, and boy, that was some sick shit. But yeah,
oh my God.
Now I'm googling Darren Sharper hot.
Yeah, dude.
He's a really good looking dude. He just,
amazing. He's gorgeous.
Yeah.
If I had his looks, half of my problems in the world disappeared.
Jim Jackson is a poor man's Darren Sharper. Jim Jackson.
Jim Jackson.
Jim Jackson is good looking.
Yeah.
With great measurables also. Why the fuck are we saying it? Why are we doing this?
I don't know. This is not
good. We're talking about getting old Packers back together.
Yeah, we were. Devontae Adams. He this motherfucker was packing his bags.
Yeah.
And now he's apparently back on board. So, but yeah, the motherfucker showed up this morning, man bun, wearing shades, smiling, always wearing cryptic shirts. Today he wore a shirt with Kevin from The Office spilling chili
really?
on himself.
That's his thing.
I love it. He showed up in with flip flops too. The fuck?
That's a good question. I don't know if he was wearing flip flops. I couldn't see that much, but apparently, he was coming in. He was avoiding the drama. So I'm glad. I love Aaron Rodgers. I wanted him to stay in Green Bay. I'm part of that Giannis kind of ideology, sticking to one team. That's why I love Kobe playing 20 years for the Lakers. Dan Marino playing 17 years for the Dolphins. All that shit.
It's the old school part of you that wants somebody commit to one team for the entire career.
Bradley Beal.
To their own detriment.
I hate home teams not wearing white jerseys in the NBA. I fucking hate it.
You don't like those nice gray jerseys the Wizards rock?
No, man. The only team that was allowed to wear non-white jerseys at home was the Lakers. That was it. Like, you remember, that was the thing. Like, you knew the Redskins wore white for years, decades at home. You always knew if they wore burgundy, they were playing the Cowboys. Like those kind of things stick out. Like, I remember, So that's definitely the old man in me. Stubborn about it too. Fuck that shit. All right, that's it for the drama, man. The Aaron Rodgers drama is over. The Deshaun Watson drama continues. The NBA rumors, that drama continues. We're going to skip from one drama to the next. Neil is catching up on another HBO series. Ozark is coming up in theater. I never have the theater fucking soundbite set here. Shh. Thank you, Zane. All right. Ozark, the hit HBO crime drama series.
Netflix.
Jason Bateman.
Netflix.
Netflix. Fuck, I fucked that up. Jason Bateman, because I saw Jason Bateman on my script. I want a really dreamy guy. I love Jason Bateman also.
Man, first Darren Sharper, now Jason Bateman. Abdullah's going to be in his feelings tonight.
Yeah. It's like Jason Bateman, and I know, Neil, this is your bit. Jason Bateman is one of those characters where I feel like I can't take him totally serious all the time.
He plays the same guy in every show, but it fits
in every show, right? So Ozark again is. I'm going to catch you for this. Another one of those shows that I started watching an episode or two, then switched over to an incognito tab at 1 a.m. Never looked back. Am I supposed to find Jason Bateman humorous in Ozark?
No, he's not humorous in Ozark. He's actually very. Yeah.
Okay.
And so for me, that was, I've watched Jason Bateman in things like Arrested Development and like Horrible Bosses. I enjoyed, his comedic side of him. And so for this, for me, it's, mostly different role for him. He's essentially a money launderer for the second biggest drug cartel in Mexico. Moves his family to the Ozark, which is, his former business partner who ends up, dying very early on in the series because he fucked with the wrong people. Says, more coastline than the entire state of California. And he goes there and, begins his new life with his family as a money launderer. It's 3 seasons so far.
So is this one of those situations where he just like takes his family and they have
essentially the cartel is about to kill him. Right. And he comes up with this plan out of his ass and says, I will make you guys $500 million.
The opening episode in that whole rise in action, some of the best TV I've ever seen in my life. Like it takes a lot. There's no ramp up to this. They drop you right in the fucking
that's
action.
the opening scene.
And then, it's so action nonstop after that too.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah.
So I enjoyed it a lot. 3 seasons. 4th season is coming. I'm not sure when. I'm sure COVID fucked with its schedule. But I liked it. Nonstop action. There are times when you zone in a little bit out. Whatever. This is part of it and whatever. But I enjoyed it. There's a lot of dynamics between the other characters as well. The wife's like power hungriness grows and things like that. The kids get involved in this freaking whole scheme, and there's some shit that goes down, and definitely worth it. 10 episodes each season, quick watch, except for Abdullah, who will take 17 years to watch it.
He said, listen, man, look, I want to watch it.
I want to. Yeah, I know. You hate that.
I want to watch it. So in terms of like Sopranos in succession, like would I watch Ozark first or would I wait to watch it afterwards?
These are important questions.
I would definitely say it's not in Sopranos or The Wire category, but
it's not
Zane,
close.
Zane, listen, the investment in these shows is a big part of this, right? So that's why I ask you these questions. Like, I need to know exactly like where I'm going to stand emotionally and in terms of interest for one show over another, right? So like after I watched The Wire, I was like, all right, The Wire gripped the fuck out of me. Like it just
you blew that shit real fast.
And I could not. I
Found time for that one.
About it. I dreamed about it.
He limited his number of incognito browsers for that one.
Exactly.
You know when you watch like certain shows and it's just the aggression of the shows and the intensity of the shows, and you start to dream about like intense.
Where are we going with this?
You start to have intense, like you start to have intense, aggressive dreams. Like I started having like, again, it wouldn't really tie into The Wire, but I would have like a dream of like a helicopter crashing, or like
what?
like a high speed chase in the street. You know, like little glimpses of.
Well, anything you binge watch is going to be on your mind if you watch it, especially at 12 in the morning. I mean, that's.
But there you go. Yeah. So, but again, that just goes back to how tightly The Wire gripped me. Like I couldn't. And so when I ask you these questions about the next show, it's like, all right, will it have that effect on me? Will it have an effect on me more than this show?
Don't try to chase a Wire high if that's what you're trying to.
I learned that very quickly.
There's only one show that meets The Wire high.
Yeah, you're not going to find that.
But
and he's been dwindling on it for over a season.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's not necessarily what I'm looking for. I'm just trying to put things, I guess, in perspective with other
Understood.
shows.
But eventually, you just got to watch shit. I mean, you watched this one show over the course of
years. I watched 15 more minutes of Succession episode 1 this past week, and it was great.
Not everything is going to grip you off the top, or like there's some dates you go on where you don't know you're gonna get a blowjob. You just don't fucking know. There's no guarantee you're gonna get the blowjob. But you go on it, and if you get, and you'll get the blowjob, and it's going to be a little bit of a surprise. But you got to invest the time in it.
I know.
You know.
Yeah.
But to put Ozark in perspective, Ozark is not of the ilk of Wire, Sopranos, Succession, but
of course not.
But it's so fucking entertaining that I would recommend it first. Like that's how entertaining it is. It's insanely entertaining in a good way.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, so you finished all 3 seasons
in a week.
That's my Hercules.
Neil's a fucking champion.
Baby. Oh, that's my baby. That's my baby. He finished Ozark in a week.
You said I got time today.
Work from home. 2 p.m. Smart. Let's go. Let's crush 3 episodes right now.
Hey, when it's good, you find time. When you get. Oh yeah, trust me. And just to recap for the Ozark season 1's really good. 2 wasn't as good, but 3 was edge of my fucking seat. And that little girl in the show, Ruth. Oh my god, she's so good. She's really good. It's supporting. She's so good.
Really, the character arc for her is one of the better ones too.
It's one of the better ones for sure. She's such a compelling character.
Feels so left out.
Oh, you should.
You should.
We do a weekly podcast without you about things that we
Neil, I'm gonna make a video of just the camera zoomed in on me while you guys are talking about Ozark.
Yeah.
All right, then you got to put the Larry David music too.
All right, I'm putting in the fucking notes.
Except if you guys are talking about Ozark and I don't know shit about it, you guys be like doing this shit.
Oh my god.
The incognito tab is open.
Pull out the supersized Jergens.
Oh no.
He's not even on incognito. He's just on Olivia Munn wiki feed.
Stop it, man. I'm gonna cut the show right now, man. Thanks for joining us again. All right.
40th episode where it's a quick one.
All right, man. Well, so if you like I don't even know where I'm going with this. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez are back together again.
Hey, lucky man.
Years. And so it started floating around. So after 20 years, these motherfuckers decide to reunite, get back together. Obviously.
Is it really 20 years?
20
That's insane.
20 oh, yeah. Well, almost 20 years. I think 2003 is when they.
So Jenny from the Block came out in 2002.
Oh wow!
That's the video where he's all up in that ass.
Wow.
Playoff
That's
music.
crazy.
And she was just with A-Rod at the milestone is Biden's inauguration. Like that's what someone saw her.
Dude, she gets the fuck around.
Yeah.
Shit, there's a 24-year-old brown kid who's moved on from Rachel Nichols if she wants to make herself available.
What the fuck did that come from?
I just Googled Jenny
shit.
from the Block, and I was like, damn.
Good Lord. Oh man, you were like 6 when that shit came out. Oh, I jerked off to that video so many times.
Oh, okay.
Fucking TRL. Oof.
Shit.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
man.
So in the spirit of old couples getting back together, is there any particular couple that you guys, celebrity couple, that you would see for whatever reason, for the fuck of it?
Not that I have any answer to this. Shout out to Nick Bilka, quote tweeting this on Twitter with the draft night kiss between Jan Vesely and this girl.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Zane like that tweet, yeah.
Fucking weird moment.
I want to see Kenya Martin and Trina get back together.
Oh my god.
After he after he removed the kissy face tattoo on his neck.
Oh yeah. That shit was always weird, man.
I think he tattooed over. Yeah, I couldn't stand. I loved Kenya.
Yeah, speaking of NBA couples, man, maybe Monica and Shannon Brown, because Shannon Brown is like 3 times the size it used to be. He's playing in like Big 3 league now. Like pictures came out.
All big of the 3.
He's huge, man.
Bro.
Dude, those are the dudes that I root for to get like. It must be fucking hard to be a person who's land someone way out of their league in certain ways, right? Not saying like Monica is the most amazing thing or Shannon Brown's not a good looking dude, but like it's fucking Monica, right? Like he's never gonna fucking top that shit, right?
No.
Like what's that kid from SNL who's with Ariana Grande? He's never gonna top that. Pete Davidson's never gonna top that, right?
Pete Davidson, dude. Yeah. So,
tell me your thought. Tell me what you think about Pete Davidson right now.
Man, this might have to be a different segment. I still haven't really formed it. I don't know if I like the dude or not. I don't know.
Really?
Same thing. Same here.
I don't know if
he ever got Ariana Grande.
I don't think.
So when you say like or dislike his,
I don't think
talent,
Pete Davidson's. I don't think he's that funny, but he somehow ends up in all the right places, man.
You see it. I feel this
like
even his SNL bits. Like he can make me laugh. Like I've laughed, like audibly laughed at something he's done or said.
Yeah.
But it's so far in between.
I think his appeal is he kind of like a Michael Cera type, like awkward, young, good sense of humor, got the right platform, the right backing. Like he's an underdog type of guy to root for. I don't think he's that funny though, man. He never.
But do we really think? Who do we think on SNL is really funny? Let's be blunt. Like who do you think is actually like funny? Even if you like, what's that blonde girl's name? Who's on there?
See, I don't know the cast name, man. I just
but like,
faces.
I love her, but I don't think she's funny. I just think she does like impressions and shit. Yeah,
I
but would you watch her do
like-
a stand-up bit? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean the
No, I
SNL
wouldn't, but
cast.
you can't have that expectation.
There's just a few I like. They're so far from like the golden age of like Will Ferrell and like Sherry O'Terry and Chris Kattan. Like all the motherfuckers are funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough to find a real funny person on the cast these days. But Pete. I like what he's been able to accomplish, all things considered. I mean, he keeps some hoes with him. Motherfucker got movies. He's doing UFC pay-per-view. Like he's got all his shit together.
He's definitely likable as a person.
Super likable as a person.
Yeah.
Talented. I'm like,
Yeah, it's hit or miss. I know.
Yeah. He's in that movie, and that movie got really good reviews, like The King of Staten Island. I haven't seen it,
right.
but they got really good reviews.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
He's just interesting. His dad died in 9/11.
Right.
Oh shit!
And watching the roast, who was he roasting? And he literally was like,
"Oh, that was hilarious."
That show was insane. Like he made like 10 jokes literally about his dad dying in 9/11.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. So like, but like, that's not really like great comedic talent. But like, that's his like, he has that weird shtick where he's like that.
It was weird. Like for a while, people thought he was gonna kill himself. Like after,
he's been suicide. He's been clinically depressed for
he's been a punchline of a lot of stuff. So I think young people especially see a lot of themselves in him, and I fuck with that. That's good for him.
Yeah, sorry, that was like a whole rabbit hole. Obviously, Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt.
So
is one.
Right. Yeah.
Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy. I didn't know Rosario Dawson and Eric Andre were dating. I had no idea.
Rosario's been around too, bro. She's been around, man.
Come around my place. 17.
I don't even know if she's still with Cory Booker. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. But it was her. Who else? She dated somebody else before. Eric Andre thing was like a flash in the pan, but everybody's like, "What? Like for real?"
Eric Andre and And
And
Cory
Rosario.
Booker's on her.
I didn't know he dated Rosario Dawson. I'm like shocked.
Yeah, she had some other pretty prominent relationship before Eric Andre. I'm just drawing a blank on who it is. Anybody want to see Sierra and Future get back together?
Yeah, right.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
That's a great one.
I
That's a
actually would
great
want
one.
to see that just to see how well or
Russell
bad Russell
Wilson.
Wilson plays that season.
Oh my god.
I want to see media because
I'm gonna
Future's
get my
got like a
bitch back.
hive. Future's got a hive of just toxic motherfuckers, man. Like that, the
course.
celebration on social media if they got back together would just be like
Oh,
women
Lord.
would be pissed and guys like toxic dudes would be celebrating. It'd be great.
Dude, a lot of people broke up. I didn't realize who broke up.
Like,
Like, are Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne not together?
I think they've been apart for a while.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dax and Kristen Bell. I thought these people were all married still.
I'm
Maybe they
surprised
are.
we haven't heard Chris Humphries and Chris Kardashian yet. From
Oh my
Kim
god, that'd be
from,
hilarious.
from Neil. Yet.
Side note: how upset do you think P Diddy was? Oh, we already talked about this. I know he posted some weird shit on like Instagram when J Lo and Ben Affleck got back together.
He did.
Did he?
Yeah, he posted some
Yeah.
weird shit.
Oh, I haven't
Like,
seen it.
You don't remember that? That show was hilarious. What did he do?
Must not have been that memorable.
No, it was weird. He taunted them with like a throw. He posted a throwback pic of him and J Lo
He was such a fucking baby, man. Like, why do that shit?
on Throwback Thursday.
Diddy was trying hard to push up on Tracy Ellis Ross, who I've never seen with anybody.
These people just want everything. I don't understand what it is.
Yeah.
Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth. Oh, you don't want to trust them.
Seal and Heidi Klum.
Oh my lord, I never understood. Like, yo, you gotta like. He cheated on her.
He
Heidi
did.
Klum.
Yeah, he cheated on her.
So fucking bad. Ooh.
Good lord.
The only reason I watch America's Got Talent.
Dude, she was in my jerk off Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
For
Apparently,
years.
apparently, "Kiss from a Rose" was a cryptic song.
It's a Rose, a fucking classic song, man.
Classic song. Oh my
Classic. Everybody thought they could sing that shit.
God. Ugh. And it was on the Batman soundtrack too. Like, fuck.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. It's cinematic.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Any parting thoughts on any parting wishes on celebrity reunions? If not, we can get the fuck out of here. With that, yo, because we got a stacked attention. This is why we decided to forego Homeroom, because we got a stacked attention.
Yeah.
Shit, I don't even know where to start here, but since we're talking about reunions, this is in bad taste, really bad taste.
That's what we're here for on the PTP.
Bad touch here. This reunion ain't really that type. DaBaby at the Rolling Loud concert decides to bring Tory Lanez out onto the stage right after Megan Thee Stallion's performance. For those that don't know the story, I think it was last summer, July.
Was it last summer? Yeah.
Yeah, after a Kylie Jenner party, Megan and Tory Lanez and I think a bodyguard were in a car. They get into an argument. It's after the party, so they're probably all drunk, twisted, whatever. And then Megan Thee Stallion gets out of the car, and Tory Lanez proceeds to start shooting at her feet. Really quick.
What?
Tory Lanez, we just shooting at people for the fuck of it? Like,
one of the weirder stories in
Lord.
media. Yeah. And people were like, she's lying. Of course, everybody's like,
yeah,
stories
right.
there was like footage of her outside the truck, and her foot was clearly bleeding, and she confirmed it. And
yeah,
how Tory Lanez is still walking around, even though he's not even a U.S. citizen. I think he's Canadian.
It's Canadian, yeah.
With no penalty whatsoever. Like nothing got charged. Like nothing. It just went away. Is incredible to me. So yeah, DaBaby's a dick for that.
Yeah, he's a dick for that, and he had more issues to deal with. We're talking about those George W. Reflexes. Amid the shoe throwing, there was bottles being thrown at him. The soundbite coming out of that after he promptly weaved out of the way of the flying shoe.
Yeah.
To singularize Adidas in itself is just
Adidas.
fucking hilarious.
Yeah. That pause is good too. Yeah.
Oh, out of breath.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It was a good reflex, good swerve to avoid the shoot. It's not on W's level though. George W. Bush is all time.
Oh,
he dodged too
twice.
Yeah, he looked good. His reflexes were sharp as shit. Like that shit was. I look at that like once a year and just fucking die laughing. Like it was. Yeah.
The shoe thrower. Did he actually confess to it? Like his name started circulating, or who he was.
Didn't he like tweet as Adidas thrower? Was that the name?
No, I don't know if it was that.
Okay.
You might be right. I just saw somewhere that he had been identified. so there's that. Oh, I'm sorry, man. The Bacardi's finally kicking in. We have a buck 31, 91 minutes in, and I'm fucking acting stupid. All right, I'm just trying to get Zane to crack a smile, but he's bracing for a 5 a.m. wake up tomorrow morning. I don't think he's.
Oh yeah.
No, I was just reading Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul got rushed to the hospital or some shit. So I was trying to see
what.
Oh shit! I don't know.
Yeah, he like collapsed on set or something.
God damn.
But yeah, sorry. To carry on.
Another great.
Carry
show.
on.
Next up, Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher. We talking about couples here.
Right. That's where I thought you were going with this.
I didn't know they were still together.
No, they got back together.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why I didn't go with it, because I wasn't in the know. Neil, do you want to take over?
Well, all I know is that no, not at all, because I have no idea what they did or didn't do. Bathing, I don't know what this controversial topic is.
Allow Jamal, please.
Allow me. So last year, this thing went out on social media. I don't know if that's when I was on Facebook or some website wrote about it, but apparently a certain group of people came out and said they didn't bathe every day, even in the summer. So there would be designated bath days. So bath days would be like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I don't give a fuck if you fell in a fucking mud puddle or like threw up on yourself. You had to wait until bath day to actually clean yourself. So if you were dirty as shit on a non-bath day, you had to wait until bath day. And in the summer, bath days I think were less frequent, because if you were going swimming a lot, then swimming or playing in the sprinklers or something took the place of an actual like true bathing. Never heard about this shit before. I won't go into detail about a certain demographic that seemed to be seem to have this belief. So it bubbled up again. I saw it on TikTok. It started bubbling up again for some reason. There's a chick on TikTok saying, "Yeah, this is a real thing. Like I only bathe Monday, Wednesday, Friday. When I went to college, I played basketball. That's the first time I saw people shower every day. I thought it was crazy. Weird shit. Just shit I cannot fathom personally." And then, it came out that Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher was like, yeah, we don't bathe every day either. And we don't see the need to bathe the kids every day. Like, I think Ashton said, like, I might hit my armpits and, wash my face maybe, or, I do a little wipe down if I'm sweaty to just get the salt off, but I don't bathe every day. It just boggles the mind. It's that not bathing daily is cultural for some people.
Which I learned that white people don't use washcloths. You know that? I'm serious. I had one bar of soap in the house. Every time I use it, somebody else's pubic hair was in it. So I use the raw. I guess I'll put the raw bar of soap and your button all this. Maybe I need to wash my face or my feet.
Thank you. I was scrambling to get that soundbite right now.
Oh God.
Oh my goodness. You're right. I read the report or the story initially as it being about their kids. But it ties into the whole belief in general, right? So there was another thing that circulated Twitter earlier this year or maybe last year, which, as Zane and I, the resident foot fetishes on the show, was that white people didn't wash their feet specifically, like they just did not.
That was a couple years ago. Yeah, the whole debate about washing legs, like everybody's like, well, I just let the soap run down. Yeah,
I think there might be a running joke about your folks, black people who have foot fetishes. So black people were clowning their own people like, oh, y'all motherfuckers that be liking feet. These women ain't washing their feet.
I forgot. The wash legs debate was pretty heated, man.
It was hard.
Like,
yeah,
it was a fucking war that broke out over that. Like,
it was depressing. Yeah, for sure.
Oh god.
I don't. So he said he washed. This is fucking weird. See what he said? He washes his crotch and his armpits.
Yeah.
But he won't
take a shower.
So like he takes off his pants and washes his crotch, like, and his armpits.
You get in the fucking shower, right? Yeah.
These are great follow-up questions, Zane. I really hope that we have the opportunity.
Can it be any simpler to take a shower? You know what I mean? Like, it's a real quick. We're not asking you to draw a bath and, like, you know, bring in fucking water from a well and boil it. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty easy to.
Yeah, like people don't wash their hair every day. I know that, but there's like a scientific, like people.
That I never understood either. It's just
it's not good for your hair to dries out your scalp and whatnot.
Yeah.
You wash it every day, Bill?
Just about, yeah. Like I shampoo it every day.
Yeah. I try not to, but I end up having to.
And
because
I have for 39 fucking years, and I'm fine. So got a little receding hairline though.
Neil, how about you?
I do not shampoo every day, so. But to me, also, it's just like, so this dude. It's not like he's saying, "Oh, I'll shower 6 times out of a week" or anything. This man's literally just like, "Oh no, I just regularly go 3-4 days without bathing." Like, that's trifling.
I'll be honest. I'm not averse, okay, to the idea of not showering every day. But the problem is I fucking have to. Like, it's impossible not to feel like I have to shower.
Right.
Like,
after one day, you just feel gross.
You walk outside and it's hot. I'm sticky. I have to shower.
You if you're walking around not showering every day during 90+ degree heat and you just have a semblance of if you're just going to the fucking grocery store and coming back. You know, I'm walking my dogs 3 times a day. There's no way I cannot.
You just feel sticky, right?
Usually
how do you
sleep? Hit 2 showers, yeah. But as a grown man, don't you fucking smell yourself after a while? If I hit like 2-3 p.m., bro,
they must live in a bubble.
I'm being real, man. I go take a piss, man. That fucking that odor hit, or I just turn around real fast, and you know what I mean. Like I'm smelling, man. I've already worked out. Like that shit kicks you after a while.
I actually have a friend who showers after every shit. Have you guys heard of this?
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Or people like I know people that like undress 100%, undress and then shower after they take a shit. Like that's too much.
It's too much. I had a friend. We used to go to his house all the time. And he'd be like, "Yo, man, I gotta take a shit." We knew right then and there, like we'd be stuck in his living room for the next 20 minutes minimum, right? 10-minute shit, and then because we hear the toilet flush and we hear the fucking tub water running.
Yeah,
and we're just looking at each other like.
But so, what do you do if you're not at home?
They do not shit when they're not at home. That's my next question.
They don't take public shits.
There's people who don't take public shits, and I get it. But
what if your body said, "Well, fuck you"?
Well, hold up, man.
Really?
Yeah, regularly take public shits.
Not regularly, but like
no. But I have to sometimes. I just fucking have to
sometimes. I
don't know, dude.
Really?
I build my schedule around not shitting in public.
No, I'm with you, Jamal. But like,
I always tell people if I shit in public, specifically if I shit at work, then something went wrong.
I have to. The way I fucking eat, there's no avoiding it.
I can't. Nah, I shit in the morning. Like, but I don't. Some people that shit at work are like ritualistic. Can't do that.
No, Zane,
if I shit at work, it's a whole operation.
Yeah,
a whole operation. If I shit at work,
you work at Amazon, I gotta be some fly ass bathrooms up in there to take a shit in, man. I would not mind.
It doesn't matter, dude. I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. If I shit at work, I do it's like a whole technique. Like I go to a different floor and shit.
I do that too.
Never in your life had a situation where you were driving or you weren't close enough to home and you were prairie dogging and you still, what the fuck? I don't get it. How is that humanly possible?
I'm sorry,
our bodies
dude.
adjust. Our bodies, I think they adjust. Like if you are in the habit of not taking a shit, like, you know, when you go out to eat or when you're out somewhere, like your body just fucking knows, like in a sense. I think it learns.
I'm not going to be in fucking Texas Roadhouse and be like, you know what?
Sure.
I'm 15 minutes from home, but I need to just go now. I'm not.
No, that's a different situation, bro.
But if I'm at Chima, am I at Chima? They have nice bathrooms. There's like nice like soaps and shit. I'll go take a shit, and I'll come back and eat more.
Black don't crack. Black never shat.
Black never shat.
I mean, it's not my jam, man. Just not shitting in public.
I get it.
We're cool with that.
I never.
But don't
have
judge
an
us.
intention-
Like,
I refuse to not judge you.
I'm just saying I don't wake up with the intention of saying, you know what, I'm gonna shit in the public restroom. I just feel like there's been times where
it
I
just
haven't been able
happens.
to avoid it.
Like it's
I-
bubbling. It's
I've
bubbling,
never-
and I don't want that ride home. That
That's
scares
when-
the shit out of me. That ride
If it's
home.
if my shit's bubbling, I'm not going to risk it, man. Like I will.
Oh yeah.
But again, that goes into kind of category of things going wrong.
Yes.
My stomach saying, I don't know if we can make it.
But that's me
No.
every day.
You're bubbling every day, or you have just.
I mean, the way I just fucking came from Sakura and I had shrimp, chicken, scallop, fillet, okay, with noodles and fried rice and 4
I've
yum
had-
yum sauces.
I've had I've had to
Lord.
interrupt a manager at a job orientation because he took me out to Thai.
Oh
for
yeah.
lunch,
Oh, yeah.
and
That
he
Pad
came
CU,
back-
you fuck you up.
He's showing me the conference, the AV shit in the conference room, and I'm sweating bricks to the point where I said either I cut him off
Yeah.
from his what he's talking about, or I'm straight up gonna be bubbling in my pants in front of him.
Yeah.
And I had to cut him off and say, hey, I need to use the restroom. Oh, you need a key. I gotta go get it from my office real quick.
Yeah.
Mm.
And how do you avoid that, Jamal? How do you avoid that?
It shows initiative too.
Again, that goes in the category of things that have gone wrong, right? But
Things
if I'm
have gone
eating my
wrong.
regular meals and I
I'm
it
with
can
you on
wait,
that.
man. I'm
I'm
going
with
first
you
thing
on
in the
that.
morning.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
going
I'm
when I
with
get
you
up in the
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Of
When I get home
course.
from work, and then maybe
Yeah.
one more time. But that,
We're not doing it for shits and giggles. We're doing it because we
no
have
pun
to.
intended.
You're making it sound like, Jamal, like you would end up being like that. What's that chick's name that you like, Zane, from Bridesmaids, where she had to
Kristen
like
Wiig.
squat? No, the black chick,
Oh, Maya Rudolph. Oof.
Maya Rudolph, where she had to like casually squat in the middle of the road and shit in the wedding dress before she. I feel like that's how you feel like you would.
nah, not
you-
quite that
at
extreme.
any at whatever cost, you're not taking a public dump.
I
That's
would
how-
no. I need taking a shit is a very isolationist, comfortable like activity. I need to be on my throne.
I agree. I agree.
I can't relax if some dude named Jeff is coming through. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
see, okay, I'm glad you made that point. Okay, because you like me, I sit down in and out like a robbery. Like just
Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
shit and I'm done.
so you're a functional shitter. You're not a relaxation.
I'm a
shitter.
functional shitter. That I think that's the difference here. I think you
Okay. All right.
you
That's
kind
fine.
of ease you foreplay, whatever you do, ease your way into it.
Look, it's a whole thing, man. I turn the light off. I turn the fan on. I turn the brightness up on my screen. And there's also, you know, as a dad, that's also the place I get peace. Like nobody's gonna fuck with you in the restroom, in the bathroom.
Yeah,
That's true.
Daddy's taking a shit.
agree.
You actually get off the whole floor.
Yeah.
I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, I don't have to worry about that. That's a
Yeah.
whole other thing too. Like
Yeah.
I like to shit, and then when I stand up afterwards, I take a deep breath, and it's like, and I lay down in my bed, then I surf. If I'm at home.
I naturally, my body naturally won't let me take quick shits. Like
I
the
can't.
sensation of like bowels circulating inside of me lasts for more than 5 minutes.
Well, you eat
Oh yeah,
fucking
it's a thing. It's a
Cheetos and
process.
Gatorade at 3 in the morning. Obviously, you fucking knock me right there. He knows he did that shit last night too, so he's like, "What the fuck?"
I haven't eaten like that. I have controlled my munchies in ways you wouldn't.
I have
imagine.
not.
It's been really.
I listened to this podcast about how like the stomach, like in the middle of the night, like does like think of like a janitor coming through and like buffing the floors in the school. But motherfuckers come in, and that's when I get up and get like some fucking sourdough pretzels.
Yeah, it's like we're
Nice.
closed. We're
Fucking
closed.
and like,
We're closed.
please
can't
take that
be in
shit
here.
somewhere else.
You can't be in. You know what time it is? Read the hours on the front. Don't worry.
Crying. I'm crying.
Lord.
Oh
We
shit.
got on this from Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher.
I love it. See, there you go.
Hygiene. It's all
right, so
hygiene.
so we'll go ahead and go to the next one real quick. Speaking of taking public dumps, Kanye, he's been lodging at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome for the past God knows how long. What the fuck is he doing there, Jamal? He's in a cage recording an album?
He's like self quarantining to finish his album that was supposed to come out last week. I don't know why people thought Kanye was actually going to drop his album last Friday. Did they not know what he did with like the Nas album and the Tiana Taylor album? How he delayed the fuck out of those and fucked their albums all up.
So what, he like live streamed it in a performance in Atlanta or something? My friends thought, oh, it was good.
Yeah, he sold out the whole arena had the floor open and he just paced around while music played. With the stocking over his face and his new Gap gear on, he ended up walking through the crowd. But yeah, they said he's staying at the arena until he finished. So he just tweeted a picture of his or put on Instagram a picture where he's staying, which is this place like a fucking cot in a prison cell, honestly. Kanye continues to just be, I don't know. I think it's very clear that he's not mentally well. The fact that the album is called Donda is a little worrisome because I don't think he's dealt with his trauma properly. He's coming off of the divorce. He's got, there's a lot of shit with Kanye, and I don't think he's made a good album in a very long time, personally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect much out of this, but yeah, he's got people all bored, and he's fucking working with this dude for I guess the social media back, and I don't know if y'all follow Justin LaBoy, LA Boy, Justin LaBoy, who tweets the most asinine, like dumb shit.
Yeah, random shit. Yeah.
And he's the guy that's like, giving updates on Kanye's album, and people are like,
is he really teaming up with him or is he clout chasing?
So I've heard I heard like Diddy's giving Justin LaBoy money. I heard Justin LaBoy's got a single that's either out or coming out. He and Justin LaBoy and like Kevin Durant were like two people who actually got to listen to Donda. They were like pictures of them listening to Donda, last week sometime. It's really strange. Somebody on Twitter was like, I don't think you understand how disliked Justin LaBoy is. Like, you don't want this guy at the forefront of like pushing your album. So yeah. I don't know. Apparently Justin LaBoy said Kanye's album won't be done until like August the 9th or something now. He's still working on it, but he's telling everybody to be patient. I don't give a fuck. Kanye just doesn't make good music anymore. So, but his stands will be all over it. They can't wait.
He has the worst stands.
Yes.
Go ahead,
yes.
Zane. I was gonna.
Hands fucking down. He has the worst stands. I'm sorry. He's a really good artist, but he's not this fucking genius that everybody fucking thinks he is, man. And like his antics are surpassing the quality of his music.
Absolutely. Right? Yeah. Very, very
but
good point.
The stands, no matter what the fuck the song is, they're gonna worship that shit and say it's the greatest thing since shitting in your own bathroom.
Kids are making TikToks now using like the leaked audio from songs and saying it's like the best shit ever. It's changing my life already, and I'm it's
like, get the fuck out of here.
It's a thing, yeah.
And what boggles my mind about Kanye stands, I don't know if it's just me being cynical. They are always the type of people that really have no great musical taste outside of what's came out in the last like 15 20 years. It's always seems to be that way. Like you cannot talk to a hardcore Kanye fan about any really quality music that's not super commercial and saturated and came out it's like the same shit.
That's
a whole other segment.
Totally in on just all pop. You're right.
I agree. So Kanye, his first stint in detention, I think that's kind of surprising. I don't know.
It is weird.
It's weird. I figured 40 episodes.
Okay. Not everybody can have a hat trick like Rudy Giuliani.
We're not even talking about a hat trick. I'm talking about 40 episodes in, and Kanye.
I would throw him in there every week if I could.
Yeah.
All right.
Him and his stands.
We'll make it a bit. We'll make it a bit. Let's wrap this thing up. We got Airbnb upselling. I don't know what this is about, but this resonates with me because I've been in the Airbnb market this week. Upselling is one thing. The quality and the availability of a lot of the places that I was looking for wasn't there either. Who's doing this bit?
So this is me. So I went to Connecticut for a long weekend, Friday to Monday. Saw some family up there. And so this guy, he says, oh, can sleep up to 16 people. Like, in no way could that place fit up to 16 people, first of all. It was like they advertised, oh, we have 2 kitchens. Man, the freaking fridge was broken in one of the kitchens. No dishwasher.
Wow.
The place had 2 bathrooms and it's supposed to sleep up to 16 people.
Nah.
And she was like, I'm better off just getting like 3 hotel rooms at this point.
Right.
I was annoyed, and I was like, I was looking back at his reviews. I was like, no fucking way, you have an organically produced 4.78 review. Like, you got some fucking bots and some Bangladeshi kids making fake accounts and shit on your page, like ridiculous. No chance in hell.
So look, was the rate relatively high? All things considered, I feel like everything's more expensive now.
So essentially, it's a similar thing that I had done Memorial Day weekend two months previously. Granted, obviously there's a lot of demand right now. I think we booked kind of late, but it was more expensive than that place, and I was like, this place is significantly shittier. So I was not a happy camper, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I for some reason I was veered away from deeply searching through Airbnb for place. I'm going to Rehoboth this weekend, actually.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's Mary's birthday, so she wanted to just get away. So I didn't really look into much of the Airbnb. There's not a lot of oceanfront properties at Rehoboth. I don't know if anybody's done Rehoboth. This is my first time personally.
Not stayed there, but I've been to a little bit.
I've been to same here. It's been through.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I was looking for. Was more of a oceanfront property, home type place. But we're gonna stick to a hotel anyway. So we're good to know about that. I'm not trying to deal with that shit. And we're gonna close it out with I put this guy in the U.S. Olympic fencer, Alan Hadzik, who got a little bit of a green light here, accused of sexual misconduct. But they put some sort of like restraining order on him where he isn't close to women. Nonetheless,
how does that work in the like?
But this is that.
That's crazy.
This is that Caucasian treatment. You're talking about that kid, that swimmer kid from the college kid who got
the Stanford
a few months in prison because his parents.
Oh yeah.
But this is the thing, but in an Olympic season that we see what happened to Sha'Carri Richardson, right? Top of the line athlete in her field gets completely ousted from the roster over some weed, and this guy has sexual assault accusations, and they just try to kind of make it comfortable for him and for people around him, and still let him.
The U.S. is going to go down as, we're probably down the worst we've ever seen, all things considered. We're going to medal a lot, obviously, but between people dropping out because of mental health choices and USA team, the basketball's looking bad. This fencer story. But we got first place in shooting, which is very American.
You bring up that basketball and what's become like a microcosm of U.S. and sports and just politically worldwide. A microcosm of all that was the closing seconds of the USA men's game against was it against
France?
Against France, where they just bricked.
Like 5 3-pointers.
A shot.
They got a turnover. They got an offensive rebound.
That sequence was basically like U.S.'s presence at the G20 summit when Trump was like president. Miss after
brick.
Just lobbing bricks.
You got a chance. The game is there for the taking.
Oh, and look, it wouldn't be a PTP episode if we didn't talk about right wing something, right? The fact that the Patriots of America are actively rooting against basketball and soccer, anything in the USA.
You see it
because you didn't stand for the magical freedom cloth.
You see it.
Magical freedom.
The magic. Oh God. All right, man. We gotta wrap this up. Zane's laptop battery is gonna die on us. He wants to be here for the outro. He wants to hear that play out music. This was a good one. We skipped Homeroom and still broke 2 hours.
Yeah.
I love us.
Well, we spent fucking 38 minutes talking about the damn wizard. That's what happened.
We spent 48 minutes talking about shitting.
Yeah.
That's good. That's going to be a fucking classic, timeless piece.
Exactly.
Love it.
The wizards and shitting, they go hand in hand.
They do.
There
Absolutely.
you go. Now you're on to something.
Hey, and the moral of the story is, man, wash every day, especially if you take a public dump. Wash your ass when you get home.
Please.
Wash your face.
Wash it.
Or your feet.
Your feet. I don't care, man. My Mila Kunis, washed or unwashed.
Definitely, 100%.
You stay with me tonight. We good.
You talking J-Lo, Olivia Munn, Mila Kunis, Heidi Klum. Oh, wow.
There we go. Now we got Neil started, man. We got going another hour. Love you guys, man. For Jamal, for Neil, for Zane, who I think he just froze out. Zane's gone. Zane's gone. Oh, he didn't make it. Oh man. Peace out, y'all.